Hello and welcome to Collect Your Life Incorporated podcast. I am your host, Janessa A. Henderson, and I'm so glad you decided to join us today. So, today's episode, we're going to go ahead and get right to it. This is season 3. And thank you guys. I just wanted to shout out my listeners. Just thank you for listening. Thank you for rocking with me. This is season 3. Thank you for being faithful and just continuing to support. So if you know that this podcast will help somebody, please share it. It is my hope to help reach as many people I can, just going through my own life, collecting my life, and today's episode is no broken promises. So I don't know like the age range of my listeners, but there was a song called Broken Promises, or like it was a part of a song. I don't know if there was a title of it for sure. I don't want to misbe, whatever, but like part of the song was Broken Promises, and like the girl said something. So that was my purpose of saying that. But I say that because in some situations in my life, I've just been like, okay, I know this is a promise of God, but I don't see it happening, so I'm just going to do it my way. Every time I do that, the Lord be slapping the back of my neck like, girl, sit down. So I sit down, I'll be obedient. It may take a couple slaps. I will say that, because like, y'all, we in this life, we're battling the flesh and the spirit. So like, they at war within each other. So it's like the Lord be slapping the back of my neck, and it may take a minute because I be trying to control stuff. And I'm like, God, you made me this way. Why did it have to be like I could do it all by myself? Or, because I've been doing it by myself for so long and people have disappointed me. But I'm like, okay, I have to get out of my mind that you are people, because God isn't people. God is the creator of the universe. God is the one who gave us breath. We can trust him with everything. And I was listening to a post that Jackie Hill Perry, shout out to her, Jackie Hill Perry has said, and she was like, a lot of times we are not as trusting of God, or we don't put our full trust in him because we kind of scale him up to what people, and that convicted me, because I was like, dang, I did that in that situation. I did that in this situation. I did that here. And I didn't really put all my trust fully in God. And that got me together. And it brought me to like this particular episode where I was like, okay, God has promised me this. God has promised me that. And like the things start to come to pass, because I'm like, God, it's not your will, it's my will. I mean, it's not my will. Oh, Jesus, let me get my life together. It's not my will. It's not Janessa's will, but it's God's will for my life. And I was praying that, and I was like, God, I don't know how you're going to do it. I don't know when you're going to do it or whatever. I'm just going to believe. So there was one particular, let me just give you an example, just a backstory. So like, basically, I had a car. It was paid off, and I was okay with said car, even though it was like giving me problems. I had to take it to the mechanic here and there. But it was a 2016. It was still good and functioning, okay? And again, I was paid off. And for a single mother who does it all, that was a blessing not to have that bill. So, then a guy hit me and my daughter, and it was a possibility that my car was going to be totaled. So I was like, you know, God, whatever your will is, I do want a new car, but I don't have to have a note right now. I'm really trying to just save and get my life together, you know, whatever. And God made a way to where the car was totaled. It was so much damage, which when the lady was explaining it to me, it didn't look like on the outside looking in, it didn't look like it was that much damage. But when she explained like the electrical stuff and the labor, I was like, oh, okay. So I ended up having my car totaled, and I had to get a new car. And that was one of my things. I had this car on in my heart. Like before I got that previous car, I had been wanting this particular type of car. I wanted a small SUV, and I was like, God, you know, if it's your will, you know, let it be done, you know. And so at the time, I just thought, well, I'm gonna just keep this until the wheels fall off. I was talking about my other car, and then I got hit. And so then I'm like, okay, well, what am I gonna do, God? Like, how am I gonna do this? And like, I'm putting all that in, I'm putting the bills, everything into God's hands, because God would not allow me to get what I wanted. This is a very car that I said that I wanted to have years ago. Like, I was like, God, I want this type of car, but it was just not the time for me to get it. And I know why. Like, God just had me wait and be patient. It was a promise to me, but he had me be patient. And there was like other things that I had before God that I'm literally walking and stepping into those prayers in my life right now. And I was like, okay, God, when I look back on a journal, like when you go back to reflecting on stuff, I looked back on a prayer journal that I had wrote. I had actually wrote some promises or some prayers down, and God answered in my prayer time, in my worship time years ago. And I am literally walking in those promises. When we look at God, he don't give us no broken promises. When he says something, it's going to happen. When he says you're healed, you're healed. There's no broken promises with God. Now, a man can break your heart. They can break a promise. I can break a promise with somebody. I have. Like I said, I was going somewhere, and baby, I'm tired. My social media meter is down. I'm low. I'm tired. I'm weak. I need to go rest. So I have broken promises. I said I promised to do things, and I just broke them because I'm human. But God is not on the same level as us. So we have to understand there's no broken promises. If God said it, he's going to do it. I know that's a saying that people say all the time, but you really have to believe that in your spirit. And I had to collect my own life, because I'm like, okay, God, I don't know how I know you're going to take care of me. I know you're going to take care of your daughter. I know you're going to take care of me. But then I also had to realize it's not on my timing. It's not on my timing. And God is not a slot machine. He's not a genie. Because even if God doesn't do it, he's still good. And that's the thing. A lot of times when we're petitioning God for stuff, we want him to do it like instantaneous. Like, we've gotten so conditioned in this society we live in that things have to be done fast. It has to be done suddenly. And sometimes God does work fast. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. It's like really things he's done in my life that has been quick. But it was sometimes I had to sit and be quiet. He had to build my faith up, like, and put me in a place where it was like nearly impossible Like, I don't know how this happened, God. And to the point where I knew it was God. I knew that was God that brought me out. I knew that was God that delivered my body. I knew that was God that allowed my daughter to be born and conceived. I knew that was God. And it got me together. It was like, okay, let me get my life together, because this is not my time. I'm not on my own time. I'm not in control. And yes, I have things before the Lord, but I want everything. I have to make sure that I'm in aligned with his will. But do know that there's no broken promises with the Lord. When God said something, you don't have to worry. You don't have to stress. You don't have to look around and see. You don't have to guess. You don't have to wonder or doubt. God's going to do it. When humans do that, you can do all that. But your trust, you have to be at a level of trust. Like, the trust with people is different. It's a few people that I trust. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I've had friendships, relationship thing, family. It's a few people that I trust with my life, that I trust with things and that are important of important information to me. I only show what I want to some people because I can't trust you. Because I know I'm saying what I'm saying because I know that you might go back and tell somebody. But when I tell God something, when I petition God, when I cry out to God, when I worship the God, I can trust him. You can trust him. You can put all your trust and cares in him. Whatever you're going through, whatever you're dealing with. And recently, I've had to draw even closer and near with this whole situation with my car, with everything else going on, trying to attack me here and there and everywhere. I've had to put all my trust, and God brought to my thought, be patient in the process. Be patient in the process. And I said, God, give me more patience. Give me more. I feel like I have a lot because I'm a high school English teacher. But God, give me more. I'm a mother, but give me more patience. Because I know what you said. I already know what you said, God. But I just want patience in the process. I want patience in the waiting. I want patience. So that I'm not consuming myself with thoughts and just over analyzing things and overthinking things. God, give me a peace that surpasses all understanding. And I've had to ask God that. And I promise you, it'll come. So whatever God has said over your life, whatever has been spoken over your life, it's going to come to pass. And those things might not come in your time. Because this car that I'm able to drive was not in my time. I had to go through a different process. I had to go through some things. Like, God is awesome. It didn't happen the way that I would have thought. But it happened just perfect for me. And I'm like, wow, God really did that. So please know that there are no broken promises in God. Please know that his answer is yes and amen. God is not a God that he will lie. So we have to get in our mind, our level of trust in God's yes and amen doesn't mean it's going to be on our time. It's on God's time. But it's going to be on the perfect time, what you needed for your life. I hope this helps someone. I hope you are blessed. And I'll see you the next time. Thank you.